Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the stream. I'm Angelina. Today is the final episode of our live stream series on the Chinese Communist Party's so-called anti-corruption campaign. The title of today's live stream sounds beautiful, marching toward common prosperity. But what we're about to uncover may genuinely send chills down your spine. CCTV's 2026 annual anti-corruption documentary series, Not One Step Stopping, Not Half a Step Retreating, ends with an episode titled Technology Empowered Anti-Corruption. In an age where technology is advancing at a breathtaking pace, the CCP claims its anti corruption campaign is keeping up with times. 2 days ago, I listened to Elon Musk talk about how technology after 2026 may transform humanity, breaking the limits of time and even space, opening the door to a new era. But then, 有噪音了 I watched how the CCP uses technology. The contrast is surreal. On one side, technology is meant to expand freedom and human potential. On the other, the CCP, one of the most technologically capable regimes on earth, use high-tech tools to reinforce dictatorship, maintain absolute control, and hunt wealth. This is the CCP's unique combination of evil and absurdity. But technology driven anti corruption also marks the end of an era. The old world where officials relied on information gaps, physical isolation, and white gloves to evade oversight is collapsing. High technology is giving authoritarian power an unprecedented level of penetration. And that penetration is no longer limited to officials. It is now reaching directly into every individual's wallet. Let's look at two cases highlighted in the final episode. Case one, Li Yong. A former senior executive of China National Offshore Oil Corporation. Let's just put it CNOOC. Leon represents the classic old forces. He believed that he understood international business rules perfectly. He spread his operations across 10 countries. He actually put his money across over countries. 83% of all his illegal funds were held overseas. And before the investigation began, he actually burned large amounts of cash. He was so convinced that he was untouchable. And his logic was simple, right? Uh, Overseas, and your China's this is way beyond CCP's jurisdiction. What can you do with me? Huh? What happened next shattered that illusion. Investigators deployed big data penetrative analysis using AI to cross match his business transactions, personal networks, travel records, and overseas spending. The message from the Li Yong case is crystal clear. If you have left a digital trace anywhere in the connected world, even in the most remote offshore account, algorithms can find you. To ordinary people, this looks like justice. Money has nowhere to hide, but Li Yong's identity matters. He was not a small official. He was the former deputy party secretary and general manager of CNOOC. Mr. Guo Wengui has repeatedly stated in his live streams that entities such as the China National Offshore Oil Corporation, CNOOC, or China National Petroleum Corporation, CNPC, and major state-owned banks function as money laundering channels for CCP financial elites, led by figures such as Wang Qishan. In a live stream on June 24th of 2022, Mr. Guo cited Beijing state-owned capital operation and management co, commonly known as Beiguotou, as an example of how trillion-level money laundering operations were conducted. According to Mr. Guo, control of state-level investments could be transferred through layers of entities, moving funds via Ping An Group, China Merchants Bank, China Construction Bank, Bank of Beijing, and state giants, including CNOOC, CNPC, China Shenhua, and China Energy, manipulating tens of trillions of dollars in financial instruments. These overseas oil operations and state-owned banks, he said, are exit channels. Even offshore RMB trading is tied to currency movements far beyond what ordinary people can imagine. And this is why CCTV chose Lyon. The deeper warning is clear. All overseas money flows must be mapped. Whether funds pass through Deutsche Bank, Qatar, or other jurisdictions, everything must now be exposed. Human investigators miss this. AI does not, right? Xi Jinping must fully understand where the old forces hide their money. And the second case is even more revealing. Yao Qian, a former director of the Science and Technology Bureau at the China Securities Regulatory Commission. And who is Yao Qian? He was the first director of the People's Bank of China's Digital Currency Research Institute and one of the leading architects of China's digital currency system. He understood blockchain, he understood Web3, he understood crypto concealment better than almost anyone, and yet he failed. Yao Qian used the cryptocurrency for money transactions, believing blockchain anonymity would protect him. He was wrong. Under state-controlled core algorithms and full spectrum data surveillance, all digital disguises become transparent. Even if the most technologically sophisticated bureaucrat cannot hide money, what does that tell us? It tells us the rules of the game have changed. In the past, corruption was exposed through whistleblowers. Today, it is exposed through computing power. Fast, precise, unforgiving. You can almost see Xi Jinping's confidence through the screen, while the old elites in Zhongnanhai likely lie awake at night. Is technology-driven anti-corruption really about money? Of course not. Through the case of Feng Jiang, former head of a construction financing division at a local state-owned assets authority, the CCP demonstrated how AI is used to supervise engineering bids. After data cross analysis, all AI generated risk alerts pointing to possible expert bias and bid rigging. Investigators followed the algorithm and found corruption every time. This is exactly what Xi Jinping wants. He wants to destroy all the relationship networks completely. And Xi himself stated at a CCDI meeting, quote, power must be caged with institutions. We must innovate methods to discover corruption early, identify it accurately, and enhance penetrative governance. Xi is building his cage with AI. In the past, corruption relied on human alliances, patronage networks, protection, and shared interests. Now, AI is a cold, emotionless supervisor. It knows who is disloyal, who harbors hidden intentions. Big data often knows people better than they know themselves. Hmm. This is the other phase of high-tech totalitarianism. It makes targeted political strikes extraordinarily efficient. And this is not random anti-corruption. It is algorithmic reformatting of power. Let's say it again. This is not random anti-corruption. It is algorithmic reformatting of power. Before algorithms, privacy disappears, and so does resistance. So do not assume this only affects bureaucrats. Look at recent developments. Asset checks targeting overseas Chinese, new domestic investment and tax rules, big data monitoring of personal transfers. When the technology used against Li Yong and Yao Qian is applied to ordinary citizens, precision harvesting begins. If AI can trace Yao Qian's cryptocurrency, it can easily trace overseas property, equity transfers, and every source of income. So under the digital RMB and the fully monitored financial system, wealth is no longer your protection. It's nobody's protection except Xi Jinping's. When fiscal pressure rises, technology can instantly lock and reclaim it. As we discussed in the previous episode, preventive anti-money laundering measures allow authorities to freeze assets based on suspicion alone without notice. Your assets can disappear before you even know you are under investigation. Does that make your back feel cold? In China's socialist system, private property is not sacred. Li Yong's tears and Yao Qian's downfall are not justice. They are a technical rehearsal for the entire population. They tell us this. Through fiber optic cables and algorithms, power now reaches every account, every phone conversation, every transaction. Technology should bring freedom. Without rule of law constraints, it becomes the foundation of an electronic panopticon. So this is the core move in Xi Jinping's anti-corruption chessboard. And his vision goes far beyond China. His concept of a community of shared future for mankind is not rhetoric. It is a governance model based on control, surveillance, and algorithmic management. At the World Economic Forum on January 17th of 2022, she said, China seeks common prosperity, not egalitarianism, by making the cake bigger and then dividing it. And the real question is, who gets to divide the cake? Of course, she does. His anti-corruption campaign is not only about maintaining domestic rule, it is about exporting a technologically executable system of control. Today's technology-empowered anti-corruption is a dress rehearsal. Control the wallet, monitor income, predict behavior, and then control destiny. This is not alarmism. The CCP is already doing it. As Mr. Gore, Mao Gore has repeatedly warned, Xi Jinping no longer wants to be just a dictator. He wants to become the sun shining all over the globe. So the Chinese people are the CCP's greatest victims, but they will not be the last, unfortunately. The CCP is using the Chinese population as human shields to advance a global strategy. That is why our live streams are bilingual, with both in English and Chinese, why we speak to the world. This is the core message Mr. Gowenke has delivered at the cost of his own freedom, right? The CCP is a threat to the world. If the CCP is not dismantled, eliminated, no one is safe. Thank you for watching. Please continue to follow our channel and leave your thoughts in the comment section. We will keep exposing the CCP's true nature. See you tomorrow.